All right, so I bet you're thinking about Amazon getting into the pharmacy business and like what that means. Well, you're in the right place. We are diving deep into this topic today. It's not just about, convenience, like getting your meds delivered to your door. That's a big part of it, sure. But this has huge implications for the entire industry. Yeah, we're talking potential upheaval for everybody, from those big pharmacy chains we all know to, well, you, the person picking up the prescriptions. So we've got some research here, some fascinating excerpts that really paint a fascinating picture, and maybe even a little bit of an unsettling picture of what the future might hold.
Yeah, I think what's really striking is just how aggressively Amazon is moving on this. I mean, their goal is to be able to offer same-day prescription delivery to nearly half of the U.S. population by 2025.
2025? That's like warp speed.
Okay.
I mean, that's not just ambitious. That's moving at an unbelievable pace.
Yeah.
But I can definitely see the appeal. Just imagine. You need a refill. You order it by 4 p.m.
Okay.
And boom, it's at your door in time for dinner. You're more like scrambling to get to the pharmacy after work?
Exactly. And the way they're doing it is by really leveraging the infrastructure they already have. So you think about that massive network of warehouses, delivery drivers that they've built out for, same-day delivery of just about anything. And now they're adding pharmacies into that mix.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. But it's not just about the logistics, right? I mean, they're really sweetening the deal for customers by tying Amazon Pharmacy into Prime memberships.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, there are millions of people who already love Prime. And for them, it's like a no-brainer. Now you get your prescriptions delivered, too, and often at a lower cost. Like one study found that Amazon pharmacy prices were, on average, 15% lower for a lot of those common generic drugs compared to what you would find at traditional pharmacies.
Wow. So it's like brilliant strategy on their part.
Absolutely.
But it poses a huge challenge for the old guard. I mean, it really does feel like if you can't beat them, join them kind of situation. Except in this case, it feels more like if you can't beat them, you might be going out of business.
Yeah.
Remember what happened when Amazon Pharmacy first launched? Like CVS and Walgreens stock prices took a major hit. We're talking billions of dollars in market value lost.
Yeah, Wall Street saw the writing on the wall right away. And to be fair, those traditional pharmacies were already facing some tough times. Like you've got CVS closing hundreds of stores, Rite Aid filed for bankruptcy. So Amazon entering the market really just adds another layer of pressure to these guys.
Yeah, so can traditional pharmacies even survive this? I mean, it's like David versus Goliath here.
Right.
Well, it's not impossible. But they have to adapt, and they have to adapt fast. And they can't just try to match Amazon blow for blow on speed and price. They have to leverage their own strengths. Think about what happened back in the early days of online bookselling. A lot of people thought Amazon was going to just crush traditional bookstores. But look what happened. The smart bookstores adapted. They started offering those unique in-store experiences, curated their selections, became more community hubs, so pharmacies might need to follow a similar path.
That's a really interesting comparison. So you're saying that pharmacies, they need to focus on what makes them different, like offering that personal touch you don't get online.
Exactly. A lot of people, they value the expertise, the advice that they get from their local pharmacist. It's that human connection, the ability to ask questions face to face. That could be a real key differentiator for those traditional pharmacies.
Okay, I hear you on that. But I got to admit, I'm a Prime addict myself.
Okay.
That level of convenience is hard to resist. I mean, come on, door-to-door delivery.
Yeah.
But I do get nervous thinking about my medications being just another package shipped through this massive network.
Sure.
Like, what about safety checks? Are there any concerns about errors or anything like that?
Yeah, that's a valid concern. The whole system relies on, accuracy at every step, from the warehouse to the delivery driver. And there are questions about, what happens to pharmacists' roles in this new model. Like, will they still be as accessible for consultations? Will people be able to get their advice easily? It's something we're going to have to watch closely as the industry evolves.
Oh, so let's fast forward a bit. Are we all going to be getting our meds delivered with the same ease as like ordering takeout?
It's certainly heading that way. And this shift could actually have some positive effects, like improve access to healthcare for people in rural areas or places that are kind of like pharmacy deserts where traditional pharmacies have closed down. But it's also a double-edged sword, right? Because it offers convenience, but it raises these new questions about the role of personal interaction in healthcare.
Wow. It sounds like we're on the cusp of a whole new era for healthcare.
Yeah.
So let's recap. Amazon Pharmacy is a major disruptor. Traditional pharmacies are scrambling to figure out how to adapt, and the way we get our medications is likely to change dramatically. It really is a brave new world out there.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder, as convenience and speed become like the norm, what happens to that personal touch? that expert advice that so many people rely on. It's a question worth pondering as we navigate this new landscape.
That's a great point to end on. This whole shift is fascinating. Got to admit, a little bit unnerving. But maybe a little competition's a good thing. Maybe it'll lead to better options and lower costs for everyone. Only time will tell. Thanks for listening, everybody. And we'll see you next time on The Deep Dive for another look at how the world is changing around us.
See ya, Harry.